Sun Health recognizes the value of the spiritual component of the lives of its residents, and under the visionary leadership of Reverend David Klumpenhauer, the Spiritual Life Department is working hard to meet those needs.
A few years ago, Sun Health really made a commitment and said we need something specific to spiritual life that can kind of complement things that we already have it rather than making it a silo. How can we make it together? So with Reverend David coming on under his leadership, we have really moved our program forward. It's just not about some kind of worship per se, but the education and the knowledge that is associated with it, including several trips to various religious organizations, has just brought it to a lot of different cultural exposure, religious exposure, and spiritual exposure to our residents.
So for the Spiritual Life Department, one of the programs that we started within the past year, even before that is where it began, was a World Religions Lecture Series. And we would bring a leader from a faith community in to speak about the faith that they represented. And it was really well received. And from there, really following up on that, we led a trip to Israel. Now, a trip to Israel is a dream I had working in a retirement community quite a while ago, even before we started the World Religions Lecture Series. And then when I brought Rabbi Jesse on, he told me that he had led 5, I believe it was, trips to Israel. And I thought, wow. And I asked him, I said, do you think we could do this? Lead a trip with residents? He says, yeah, I don't see why not. And we started moving forward. It was a long process of making this trip to Israel and to make it a reality of where we were able to take 27 people along, residents. We had some people from the greater community. We had some residents take children or friends along on this trip. And it was just a lifetime experience for these people. And leading residents to Israel. I mean, I don't know of another community that did that.
Yeah, you're walking the same places Jesus did and some of the disciples. And there were a couple of events that sort of stirred me that weren't really part of the tour. And that was, we went to the Jordan River, and Pastor David was baptizing several people, and this total stranger walked up to him and wanted to be baptized. And that was a rather moving moment.
Throughout the land of Israel, it really was a tremendous event. And it followed up on our World Religions Lecture Series, just giving a greater experience, whether you were Christian or Jewish or of no faith. It was intellectual, it was a physical trip, it was definitely, without question, a spiritual trip. I envisioned to be able to have a balance in the department so that we can really minister to the people of all faith backgrounds or of no faith background and really care for Sun Health.